Now that you have a new puppy, or maybe your new puppy is on the way, you are probably wondering which you should use when taking your puppy outside for potty breaks and for walks. Should it be a collar or should it be a harness? Michelle here with how to train a dream dog. In this video, we're going to discuss the pros and cons of each so that you can make a better choice about which tool to use with your puppy. Before we dive right in, if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit that thumbs up or like button to let me know you're watching. It's pretty common for a brand new puppy to throw a little bit of a temper tantrum when you first introduce a collar and a leash or even a harness. It's something that feels different to them. They've never been exposed to it before, and their natural instinct is to pull away from any pressure they feel. This is called opposition reflex. It's the fancy term we use when a dog pulls away when they feel pressure on their collar or their harness. Oftentimes, we have to play a few training games to teach your puppy that the collar or the harness or even the leash mean good things are going to happen. Now, puppies tend to pull away or even bite at the leash when it's first introduced to them. It's pretty common. But with a little training, you can teach your puppy to love wearing a collar or a harness. If, by chance, you're having trouble with puppy biting or nipping, make sure you watch this video here and this video here. Alright, let's talk about the pros and the cons of the collar first. Now, collars and leashes are pretty much, the most common tools that new puppy owners purchase first. There are tons of different styles of collars, and they come in all shapes and sizes. I prefer using a regular flat buckle collar because the quick release collars, or the ones with the plastic clasps, they don't stay snugged to size very well. This means that when your dog starts pulling, it actually kind of stretches the collar and expands the size. Now, this leaves too much room for error and your dog can then back out and pull away. Or it becomes too big and it falls super low on their neck. Now, when the collar is on your pup, we want to place it high on the neck, not down close to their chest. You'll have better control of your pup when the collar sits higher on their neck. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you get your dog to walk nicely next to you so that they don't have all that pulling going on? Am I right? If you watched any of my other training videos, you'll know there's never one quick fix to make a problem like this one go away. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of little things we can do to work on teaching our puppy where they should be, which is ideally next to us at our side, inside our online puppy training program called 30 Days to Puppy Perfection. We have several games that help work on leash training skills with your puppy. One of the first games we play is called Go Zone. We have to teach our puppy where they're supposed to be and make sure that we add a lot of value to that location by reinforcing each time they're in the correct position. If you want more information on teaching your puppy to walk properly next to you, make sure you check out the course. The link is in the description below. Now, keep in mind, every step you take in the direction your dog is pulling only reinforces the pulling behavior. This means that your puppy will quickly learn that pulling gets them to where they want to go, and you just follow behind. This also means that if a dog is wearing a collar and they are pulling, it puts a lot of strain on your dog's neck. This can cause damage to the trachea, the neck muscles, and even the spine. The collar is much easier to put on than a harness, especially for middle of the night potty breaks. Now, I like to keep the leash attached to the collar already, and then I just put it next to the crate. This way, when your pup comes out of the crate, you can quickly put it on without a lot of fussing, which can lead to an accident if your pup really has to go. Now, here are a few problems that arise with collars. Some dogs with super sensitive necks and throats will routinely cough and sputter at the tiniest bit of pressure applied. Dogs like Yorkies and tiny poodles or poodle mixes. Now, if you have a dog that has a thicker neck, such as a pug or a bulldog, the collar might slip right off because their neck is about the same size as their head. This isn't safe. In case you were wondering, it's also not safe to put any other training type collar on your pup under 5 months, such as prong collars and chain link collars either. So, if your dog is a puller and you're still working through the leash skill lessons in the course, you may want to consider a harness. This will alleviate any injury to the neck with strong pullers. A properly fitted harness will decrease pulling and decrease pressure on the neck. If the harness does not fit correctly and your dog is still a serious puller, injury can occur. We don't want our dogs to pull at all in either a harness or a collar, but if too much pulling happens with a dog wearing a harness, it can actually cause neck and spine problems as your pup grows. Here are a couple options for good harnesses. Now, I really like the Freedom harness, which has a D-ring on the front and a D-ring on the back. You don't want to use a harness with only the clip on the back because the pressure point or pivot point is on the dog's back. This means you won't have any way to steer or turn them if they're pulling. When the D-ring, or the place where you attach the leash, is in the front, you have more control over where they're headed. Now, the Freedom harness comes with a double clasp leash and a harness with a D-ring on the front and the back. This makes walking your dog a whole lot easier. You can control your dog's movements and decrease pulling. Now, I also love the True Love harness because it too has two D-rings and a chest piece that kind of covers more of the chest than the Freedom harness. It can be tricky to find a harness for really small dogs, so you may have to temporarily use a cat harness until your pup grows into an extra small or even a small sized dog harness. Now, it's not uncommon to go through a few collars or even a few harnesses over the first year of your pup's life. They will grow pretty quickly, so make sure you size up when your dog has grown. Remember, we want a properly fitting collar or a harness. Collars should have 2 finger widths between collar and neck. A harness should fit snug on your dog without rubbing or causing any irritation. For some dogs, this means only 1 finger width, while others may require 2 fingers. Be sure to adjust all the points on the harness. Now, a note about when to remove a harness or a collar. These items should not be left on your dog when they're in their crate. It's too easy for a dog's harness or collar to get stuck in the bars or a door of a crate and cause your dog to panic, twist, spin, and suffocate themselves. This happens to several thousand dogs each year. That's super sad because it is something that can be easily avoided by removing accessories before your dog goes in their crate. So remove all accessories before putting them in their crate. Now let's break down a typical puppy who doesn't pull a lot and talk about what tools should be used for which occasion. Let's just say you guys are chilling together in your house, you and your dog. You can let them run around naked. Yep, there I said it. They don't need any accessories on in the house unless you are in training mode, in which case you can just use a collar. That would be fine. Now, don't forget to get your dogs microchipped in case they do get loose and they go out on an adventure around the neighborhood without you. This way, when they're brought in, they can be scanned and your information will pop up. Now, if your pup is in the backyard running around and you're in kind of this training mode, you can definitely use just a collar. Now, I'm not a fan of tags jingling on a dog's collar, so for that reason, I either choose a collar that can be embroidered with my contact information or have an engraved nameplate attached onto it. Or I just use a tag silencer. It's never a good idea to allow your dog's tags to jingle. This can be extremely irritating to a dog and can agitate them enough not to focus 100% on you. Would you like it if a set of bells or tags was ringing in your ear all day long, 365 days a year? That would drive me crazy. Since dogs have a much keener sense of hearing, those tags can actually sound louder to your dog. Okay, next up, if you're going out walking, you will choose an accessory that best fits your dog based on the criteria I mentioned a few moments ago. So pullers get to wear a harness, and easygoing, relaxed dogs can wear a collar. If you're running with your dog, which for most of you watching this won't be for several months, you are going to use a harness. Now, I'm recommending that you wait a while before you turn your pup into a running partner because your dog's growth plates can be damaged while running. Now, I do talk more about proper exercise for pups and why we don't want to damage those growth plates in this video here. Now, if your pup is attending a play date with another pup, it is important to remove harnesses and only use a snug-fitting breakaway collar if they're indoors. If they're outdoors, we remove all accessories for playtime. Now, dogs use their mouth to engage in play, and oftentimes a dog will bite at the neck or an ear of another dog. This is typical, normal play, for the most part, but they may miss and grab onto the collar instead. Their teeth or jaw may get caught on another dog's collar and both dogs begin to panic and thrash around. A dog with a broken jaw came into the vet clinic after an incident like this. Remember, if your pup has any kind of breathing problems, you will want to use a harness. Oh, before I forget, if you guys have a brand new puppy and you want to learn more about potty training or maybe even bell training, be sure to grab my new puppy starter kit from the link below in the description. Now there's tons of valuable training tips in there for all new puppy owners. I almost forgot. If you have a super tiny pup or a low rider, a pup that's really low to the ground, it may be better for you to use a back clip harness. I don't normally recommend these types of harnesses because, as I mentioned earlier, without proper training, they really can lead to more pulling. But the smaller dogs will stumble over the front clip harness because the leash will get caught up under their leg. Be sure to use a lighter leash with a smaller clasp with the small dogs, as a big clunky heavy leash will feel like a ton of bricks on them. Now, before I share the last tool or accessory with you, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next lesson all about puppy training. Now, you're probably wondering what your dog should wear if they're traveling in the car. Well, if you've watched my dog crate for car travel video, you may remember I always recommend your pup travel in a crate, but if you can't fit your crate into your car, then a travel harness would be best. I'll put a link to one that we recommend in the description below this video. It will buckle into the seat belt and keep your dog safe while you're driving. Okay, in the comments below, let me know which tool you'll be using or which one your pup loves more, collar or harness.